You may think handling an underperforming employee is a people problem, a difficult conversation to have, but it isn't. It's a process problem, and getting it wrong exposes the business legally before you've even spoken. So what does underperformance actually look like? Well, the clearest signal is inconsistent delivery against agreed standards. Not attitude, not effort in isolation, but output that repeatedly falls short of what the role requires. And that distinction matters because attitude is subjective. Output against a standard is not. So, before you take any step, ask one question. Does this employee clearly understand what is expected of them? If the answer is uncertain, you don't yet have a performance problem. You have an expectations problem, and you need to fix that first. Any concern raised without clear communicated standards is weak, both practically and legally. Set the standard, confirm it's understood, then measure against it. That's the foundation that everything else sits on. And here's the shift most managers miss. Documentation isn't admin, it's the decision itself. The moment you write down the gap, the expectation, and the step you took, you've moved from a vague concern into a defensible process. Without that record, even a completely justified concern can unravel in a legal dispute or simply in the conversation itself when the employee disputes what was said. A useful record doesn't need to be formal. It needs just 4 things: the specific gap, the agreed standard, the date, and what was discussed or agreed. That's it. A short email to the employee confirming a conversation counts. A note saved to a file counts. What doesn't count is a conversation that only exists in your memory. If it isn't written down, for all practical purposes, it didn't happen. So, now the sequence. Most managers jump straight to a formal warning or skip steps entirely, and that's the mistake here. Start with an informal conversation, raise the specific concern, reference the standard, and give the employee a genuine opportunity to respond. Then, of course, confirm it in writing, even briefly. That record is your protection. If the issue continues after that, you can, of course, move to a more formal structured improvement plan, sometimes called a PIP. This sets out clear targets, a realistic timeline, and what support the business will provide. It gives the employee a fair chance to improve and gives you a documented process if the situation escalates. On the UK legal context, according to gov.uk, from January 2027, the qualifying period for unfair dismissal protection reduces from 2 years to 6 months. That means formal process discipline will apply to a much larger share of your workforce. So building this habit now before that change lands is a practical move. Prompt written action protects the business. Delay increases your exposure. There are 3 mistakes that come up repeatedly. First is acting on attitude rather than evidence. If you can't point to a specific output that fell short of a specific standard, you don't have a case yet. Second, skipping the informal step and going straight to formal process. That can itself become a procedural problem. Third, waiting too long. Managers often delay because the conversation is, uncomfortable. But delay doesn't reduce the problem, it compounds it, and it weakens your position if the situation escalates later. So, the rule is simple. Address it early, document every step, and follow the sequence. The process is the protection. If that was of value, subscribe to the channel for one real business question answered every video. For the same clarity in writing, the website and newsletter is 5minutebusiness.com.